This is Spykee the robot, and he is dead celled. So I'm going to take him apart and see if I can replace the battery pack with some parts from Radio Shack and some rechargeable batteries. I will keep you updated. Okay, I've taken the tracks off, and now I'm going to get working on the screws that are on the bottom. You can see it looks like there's 4, maybe 6 screws on the bottom. Okay, there actually ended up being 8 screws. There's 2 on each one of these side rails, and then 4 more here. So that is the inner workings. The battery is actually underneath this compartment here. So we have to disconnect the different cords on here and then take out the rest of these screws to get to the other battery, which I've already replaced with a replacement battery. So let's do that. Okay, I have removed the wires and I am now working on the screws. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws, 6 screws that hold this board on. So let's get those up. I had one stubborn screw that was partially stripped, so that took a little while. Remove this, and underneath here, oh look, more screws. 2 more screws in order to get that compartment open. Okay. These last 2 screws off. There is the battery pack and connector underneath. And this was a battery pack that I bought on eBay, which lasted for about 3 months, and now it's completely dead celled. So that's why we're doing this. What my thought is to snip these wires off right here, run them out the front of the robot, and connect that directly to my handy Radio Shack 8AA battery holder with the assistance of a 9-volt connector, which the 9-volt connector just connects onto the top here. So connect the end of the 9-volt to these 2 wires, and hopefully that's going to allow us to be able to change these batteries if they go out again without having to take the robot apart again, and also allow us to manually charge these batteries if we need to, and to test them individually. I pulled the battery out in order to measure the voltage. This is the replacement battery. It's measuring 8.68 volts from the connector. Now I'm going to snip these 2 wires right here so that we can get them ready to connect to our 9-volt adapters here. Actually, we only need one of these. Okay, I drilled 2 holes on the front of Spykee so that the wires could come through. So we're going to run the wires through and then reconnect the connector end back to Spykee himself. Okay, I ran the wires through, and there's the original connector that connects directly back to the electronics inside Spykee. So now I'm going to start working on this to make sure, get the height and everything of where I want to mount this. It's just going to be temporary now for testing, but get working on that. Okay, I reattached the 4 screws that hold the circuit board back in. I did not put the battery cover back in because there's no battery in there. Make a nice little spot to hide something. Put some Tic Tacs or something in there. Okay, I also put some electrical tape on the ends here so we don't short anything out. And I also pulled out this connector out from inside the battery compartment. It's very short wires. And because we're mounting this in the front, we should be able to connect those two without any real problems. Let's give it a try. Before I could reconnect the new power wire, I had to first reconnect all the wires that went onto the circuit board. Now I should be able to connect this power to this power here, and then we can test it and see if it's going to power Spykee. Okay, I was able to connect the connector and put the bottom back on, screw it all back together. Didn't cause any problems, there was nothing in the way, so it closed very easily and the screws went right back in. So now what I'm going to do is take and put my batteries inside here, and I'm going to measure the voltage coming out of here, see how close we are to Spykee's voltage, which should be close to 9.6 volts, and I know that the batteries that I'm using are 2000 milliamps each. Okay, I'm going to test the voltage coming from this battery pack. It's a little hard to do with one hand recording and one hand trying to work. 11.24 volts. Now I have seen people on YouTube operating their Spykee as high as 12 volts. So I don't believe that this is going to be a problem. I will keep a close eye on it as far as heat and the heat of the wires. So what I'm going to do now is take and put the track back on Spykee, and I'm going to connect this up and fire it up and see if he'll turn on. Okay, I have connected the battery pack, and now I'm going to turn on Spykee. I'm going to do it without knocking off his battery pack. Let's see if he starts up here. I can see the lights in the back. Oh, there goes his headlight. It looks like it worked. Let's see if I can log on to him from my cell phone. It may take a second for him to connect. Let's see here. It looks like he should be connected. And there he is. Should be able to get him to move. Oh! But it does work. Wow. Let's see. Voltage. It's putting out 11.8 volts. Battery 95% charged. Okay. I'm going to put some zip ties on this and connect it to him, and I will post a follow-up after I have a chance to drive him around a little bit more and see how he does. Okay, I only used one zip tie to zip tie the battery pack onto the front. He still seems to be on and stable. We can see right here that he is still working. If we can check the information, his battery is 93% charged. Voltage is 10.95. I'm going to dock him now. And we'll see what the voltage goes up to. Voltage is 12.4 volts, charging mode. Well, as long as he doesn't burn out, I would say that is a success, and he's pretty darn easy to fix now. So if you know anybody who's got a Spykee and they're having problems with the battery, this is a quick, easy fix. Go on down, get your stuff at Radio Shack, and fix your Spykee once and for all.